Welcome everyone. Today's topic is uninhabited shadow inventory. So let's go into the basics. What's shadow inventory and why this is so important? So shadow inventory means that the bank has taken over the property. So the owner defaulted in the mortgage payment, and then the bank went through the court system to foreclose on the owner. Okay, so eventually, when the owner defaults, the judge is going to set the auction date at the courthouse. And if nobody buys the property at the auction date in the courthouse, then it goes back to the bank. Now, the bank is not in the business of real estate, so the bank is in the business of lending. Therefore, banks are going to get rid of the property. So they're going to send them to the MLS, hiring an REO broker, and they're going to send them to the auctioning sites to maximize their sales price. The main auctioning websites are auction.com, Hubzu.com, Hudson Marshall, and Williams & Williams. Those are the major 4 auctioning websites. Now, why is this so critical for you to understand? Because what I just said, you can find amazing deals because of the fact that banks don't care about real estate. Okay, so all they want is to recover their investment, the outstanding balance, and that's about it. So they can pretty much give away properties for free. And guess what? We have access to all the shadow inventory that is going to the auctioning sites. And what's super powerful is, guess what? You can buy it directly from the bank at the reserve price. Okay, so what's the reserve price? Let me give you an example. Let's assume the property is worth $200,000. The outstanding balance on the property might be $100,000. Okay, so the bank is going to want to recoup their money. So the outstanding balance plus legal fees, attorneys, carrying costs. So maybe the reserve price might be 110, 120. So that is the bank's bottom line. That's what they need to sell the property for to cut their losses. And guess what? Over 90% of the times, you will not know what the bank's reserve is. So when you go to the auctioning sites, guess what? They just give you the starting bid. So the starting bid might be 50,000, but you'll never know what the reserve price until investors keep bidding against each other, and then all of a sudden you're going to see a message that says reserve has been met. So at that point, investors keep bidding each other, so they end up overpaying for the property. So that's something that will never happen to you, where you won't overpay for the property. So the big advantages of having access to this shadow inventory that I'm talking about is that it doesn't matter if people engage in a bidding war. Guess what? We're going to be able to pull the property from the back door. It is that simple, okay? So the way it works is we get the inventory on a weekly basis. Usually we get it on Tuesday night through Thursday. And then what you have to do is due diligence. Once you get the inventory, you have access to it. And then if you find a great deal, boom, then you decide, well, I've done my due diligence, I want to commit to this deal, and then you sign the commitment agreement, sales contract, and then you close on the deal. And what's super powerful is that you're going to be able to finance the deal, even though when these auctioning websites, it says financing available, says no, cash only. Guess what? Through our connections, you're going to be able to use either hard money lenders or private money lenders. Okay, so it's extremely powerful. So the key is that you need to find out through your due diligence, is the property vacant or is the property occupied? Because that's going to put a big spin on the transaction, okay? Occupied versus vacant. So in fact, I'm going to give you a great example today. Excuse me. So we typically get about 500 properties every single week. And guess what? Before the pandemic, we were getting 1,000 properties every single week. It was just mind-blowing. And there could be times, maybe weeks, perhaps you go 1-2 months without any great deals, but it could be weeks that you get deal after deal after deal. I mean, it's just incredible. And in fact, let me give an example. Today, I think it was last night, really late last night, we got only, guess how many properties? We got 25 properties only. I was like, whoa. I mean, the team notifies me. I just see the messages, the count of the number of properties we get. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. We typically get 500. So 25, I said, there must be something wrong. But no, there's nothing wrong. There are going to be some weeks where we hardly get in any inventory. But guess what? Like a few minutes later this morning, I get a message like, hey, Hugo, we're going to take action on this property. I was like, really? So out of 25, you found a great deal? It's possible, right? So then you really need to act on it really, really fast, because these properties are going to go to the auctioning sites in about 3 to 4 days. Okay, so you have to jump on it like super, super fast. So now, what's a great deal? Okay, so let me give an example of a great deal. A great deal means that your rehab is going to be less than $50,000, and you have about $100,000 spread. That's between the purchase price and the ARV. You need about $80,000 to $100,000 spread, and the rehab should be less than 50. If that's the case, boom, you got a home run deal. Okay. Let me see who we have on the line. Okay. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, and I'll be able to address them as we move forward. So let's just dive into an example. So today we got the list. So the way we work the list is our team, we have 3 full-time deal analysts. So we are analyzing multi-unit, meaning 5 and up. We're analyzing single-family homes that are from all the lead types of markets. So primarily we're focusing on pre-foreclosures. We're also analyzing MLS, so top rental and flip markets. We have set up searches and we analyze those deals. We are also analyzing shadow inventory. So we do these 24/7. We have 3 people just cranking out the numbers and then flagging the good deals. So when something is great, boom, we have to take action. So I look at the property, and the first thing that I do is, do we have the spread? But even before the spread, that's their criteria, right? So they give me the spread. So my next question is location, 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 right? I want to know the location. Where is this property? Because you might have a greater spread, but it might be in a super challenging area, right? So then you have to think about that. So first of all, location, number 1. Number 2, I need to see the spread. Number 3, occupancy. That's huge, right? Because that's going to determine your funding sources. Let me give you an example. If the property is occupied, you will not be able to use a harmony lender if you don't have an agreement in writing with the tenant or the owner in the property. Okay, so you may need to do a cash for keys agreement, or that's pretty much the only option, right? So you do a cash for keys agreement with the owner, that the owner is going to allow you access, and they're going to move out when you close on the property in exchange for several $1,000s. And you have to have that in writing ASAP, right? Because time is of essence. These properties are going to the online auctions in 3-4 days. So that's the first step. Find out occupancy, because if there's a tenant in the property, it's very risky, because guess what? Right now, with the eviction moratorium set until September, there's nothing you can do to evict them. So you won't have access to the property. And the biggest risk is that they can vandalize the property, they can dismantle the property when they move out. So it's pretty risky. And not only that, but harmony lenders are not going to give you the loan on an occupied property. And the reason why is because they do need to have access to the property to send an appraiser, okay? They won't give you the money if they cannot have access to the property. So then that pretty much rules out hard money lender as a funding source. Then you're going to need to use your own cash or private money funding, okay? But again, it's a risky business unless you have a written agreement with the existing tenant or owner in the property, okay? So you've got to move fairly fast on this property. So let me tell you, I looked at the property, the location. So that's the first thing that I look at through ChicagoDealVault. We have a tool that we integrate with Trulia, and we get a heat map. So I want, especially if it's in Chicago, I want to look at the crime, right? Because there are pockets. So I want to make sure that this property is not in a high crime if it's in Chicago. And in this particular case, it was not. Okay, so that was good. The second thing that I look at is, are there any pictures online? So to my surprise, when I found this property online and I look at the last sale of the property, which is also on the MLS, it sold back in 2018. So it's about 2-3 years ago. And guess what? To my surprise, there were tons of pictures, I don't know, 20, 30 pictures, and they are absolutely beautiful. It was a flip, and they did all the bells and whistles on that property. So in my mind, this is a great deal because the rehab on this property is going to be very cosmetic, okay? Because it's just wear and tear in the last 2.5 years. Because in fact, about, I don't know, maybe 7 months ago or 8 months ago, we did one deal just like that. I went online, looked at some pictures. It was just beautiful. So right away, we pulled the property and it was vacant. So we pulled the property and indeed, the rehab was like $12,000. I mean, it was just for a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house. It was just a home run deal. And this deal that we found today is going into that direction. So the first thing that I wanted to find out after seeing those pictures is I've got to see the inside. I mean, if it's occupied or not. If it's not occupied, we're gonna go for it like ASAP. So I looked at the property this morning. I was at the park with my daughter, and then I saw the pictures. I was like, whoa. So I called our partners. So we have a few partners who help us go out to the properties and do due diligence. So I called one of them. Let me see if he's on the line. No, he's not on the line, okay? He's not on the line. So I called him and I said, hey, can you go check this property out like right now? He said, Hugo, unfortunately, I'm doing a webinar. I'm doing like some training to get my broker's license. So I said, okay, because time is of essence. I said, no worries. He said, but I can go tomorrow. I said, well, tomorrow I think it might be too late, but I'll get back to you. I was about an hour away from the property, plus I'm with my daughter at the park. So I said, there's no way I'm going to be able to make it. So I was just thinking, and then I called another partner who is also a DealVault member. I said, hey, Ron, because I know he lives in that area. So I said, can you go, are you available? Because I know he works second shift. I said, hey, Ron, are you available to make it to this property today, like this morning? And he goes like, sure, I'll be able to make it. In fact, I used to live in that neighborhood, and it's an awesome neighborhood. And he said, Hugo, give me the address. So I gave him the address. I was like, Hugo, you've got to be kidding me. I live like a block away from the property. So I know the neighborhood so well. And then I can make it to the property. Like right now, I said, please find out. I want to find out occupancy. Talk to the neighbors. Take pictures if it's vacant or get close to the windows. I just want to see the condition of the property, even if it's just through the glass, anything that tells me if it's occupied or not. So he calls me when he's at the property, and here, Hugo, it looks amazing from the outside. I talked to some neighbors. They told me that people are living in the property. So I said, okay, knock on the door, do door knocking, and tell them that we're buying the property in about 45 days. We're closing on it, and we would like to help them make an agreement where we give them money to relocate in exchange for having access to the property, and we're going to give them cash in exchange. So he told me that they were not so willing. He opened up and he had a conversation with them, but they were like, okay, give us your contact information, we'll call you. So to me, they're not motivated. So what we're going to do is we're going to send another partner, and he's done a cash for keys for us in the past. So he's going to go tomorrow. Okay. I might go if that doesn't work through him. I might go myself, try to do the cash for keys agreement, because again, time is of essence. We won't be able to commit to buy the property unless we have this agreement in writing with the owner. Okay, and the reason why is because again, it's too risky. If you end up buying the property, first of all, you need to pay cash or use private money lending, and you won't get possession of the property. And if you get possession in several months, then who knows what the condition of the property is. So it's super critical to have a written agreement with the owner. So having said that, I'm going to show you what we found for you to see what I'm talking about, the power of this shadow inventory, okay? Okay, so let me share my screen. I see Lisa Myers. Hey, Lisa, you bought property from shadow inventory, right, before? I know it took quite some time to buy the property, but do you mind sharing your experience with the group before I dive into and show you this home run deal that we found today? Are you available to share your experience? Oh, okay, you're not on your phone. No worries, Lisa. That's okay. So I'm going to show you what we have. Let me share my screen. Okay. So I'm going to open up ChicagoDealVault. So in ChicagoDealVault, we have this shadow inventory tab, okay? So this is an exclusive access for yearly members. So when you click on target, check this out, 25 properties. I was like, you gotta be kidding me when I saw the message, 25 properties. But then let me show you this spreadsheet over here where we check every single day, right? So here's the property, boom. They said, Hugo, you've got to check this out. This is the property address. So the target price, let me go back into ChicagoDealVault so that you understand. Let me go, and it's on the second page right here. So it's this one, 8059 South Mozart, Chicago. Okay, so we can buy this property for $182,000. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is location. So let me show you. When you Google this property, 8059 South Mozart, let me show you what I found. First of all, this is in Wrightwood. Okay, it's a good neighborhood, very good neighborhood. So let me show you what I did and the integration that we have in DealVault through Trulia. So if I open up this in Trulia, Trulia has a heat map. So the first thing that I look at is the crime map. Okay, so as you can see, the light blue, that means it's in a safe area. Let me zoom in. When you see dark blue or darker blue, those are the pockets, okay? So for instance, these few blocks right here, where it's really darker blue, that's a high crime area, okay? But this is in a safe pocket, okay? So that was my one of the first things that I checked. Remember, location, make sure that it's not in a busy street. And then let me show you, to my surprise, check these pictures. Where are these pictures that I found? So let me show you these pictures of the property. Okay, I'm gonna make them bigger for everyone to see. Okay, so look at the pictures. And this is back, these are pictures from 2018. So about 2 years, 2.5 years. Look at the finishes. Okay, you see all the crown molding work in the bottom half. I mean, that is quite expensive. So this tells me, look at the ceiling fan. Look at the quality of the ceiling fan. Okay, look at the recessed lighting. Look at the floor. Just by looking at two pictures, they have crown molding throughout. Okay, windows look impeccable. All recessed lighting. Side, that's the dining area. And then we're getting into the kitchen. So the kitchen looks pretty nice. Painting lights. This is quartz. By looking at the countertop, this is not granite. This is quartz. Okay, quartz is quite expensive. Look at the lighting. The kitchen cabinets are very nice. Stainless steel appliances. Okay. That's the kitchen. Dishwasher. It even has a fireplace. Recessed lighting throughout. Bedrooms have ceiling lights right here. So it's called central air. Look at the vents. The flooring looks really nice. And then that's one of the bathrooms. So it's just look at the work on the bathroom, the tile work on it. And it's got 2 bathrooms. So it's got a jacuzzi. Check out the basement. Finished basement crown molding. Check this out. Okay, so it just looks beautiful. Look at the bathroom in the basement. So that the shower head, that's called I think it's like a jacuzzi shower head. It's really cool. It's very fancy. So it's got all this one. You see, this picture shows I forgot that it's called jacuzzi something. It's a trendy faucet for the entire bathroom. So it's really, really cool. You set the temperature and it just comes out. It's really, really nice, the shower head. So yeah, it's got all the bells and whistles, even laundry. That's the property from the outside, but it's occupied, okay? So this is an example of a property where let's just analyze the numbers, okay? So this property, let me show you what the numbers are going to look like. So this property, ARV, it's about 290 to 300,000. Okay, and if we can buy these for 182 plus closing cost, and if we do the cash for keys, this is going to go up to, I would say, 190. Okay, 190K. Because the bank's reserve is 182, but we're going to need to pay closing cost, and then we need to do the cash for keys. So cash for keys, if the condition of the property is like the pictures I show you, we should pay up to 5,000 at least. We paid 3,000 in the last cash for keys. This one, I mean, we could easily pay 5,000, if not maybe a little bit more. So what I was trying to tell you is that you have to have a spread of $80,000 to $100,000 from the purchase price. This is purchase to the ARV. So right here we have at least $100,000 spread. And the rehab on this property, it's just wear and tear, right? I mean, we're going to need to probably do some work, primarily paint, maybe repair the flooring. I'm not sure, but the rehab on this property.
¿Es la casa de esta, mami? ¿De cuál casa es esta?
Less than 15,000. Okay. Once you open up a property, your rehab is going to hit at least 10,000, 15,000 right out of the bat, okay? So it's not going to be less than that. Even if it's super, super light, super cosmetic, it's going to be about 15,000. But still, right, it's going to be a home run deal. So we're going to go back again to that property and try to negotiate an agreement. I mean, it might be difficult, but unless we have that agreement, then this would be extremely risky, right? Because if we don't have an agreement in writing with the owner, cash for keys, right? where we commit to give them 5,000, let's assume 5,000, in exchange for access to the property, because if we use a hard money lender, we're going to need to do an appraisal. And then, most importantly, they need to move out when we close on the property or before closing. Okay, that's critical, and that's where the money would go for relocation expenses, moving expenses. So typically, what we like to do is we like to do a cash deal plus we pay for moving expenses. So we pay for the truck, moving expenses, we pay for the cleanup, and we even give them like 2 months free of storage, like U-Haul storage free. Okay, so we give them like a package so that it's they incentivize it. So it's not easy. Every time it's different, especially because right now tenants know the law and they know that right now the eviction moratorium is until September, right? So right now we're in March, April, May, June, July, August, September. So we're looking at 6-7 months. Imagine, think about this. It might not be so easy to accomplish this because if they can stay rent-free in that property for 6 months, how much is that worth? I mean, at least they're going to be saving with the rent plus utilities. They're going to be saving for that condition of a property with rent plus utilities. They're saving about $1,750 per month. So multiply that times 6, right? So you're looking at a little bit over $10,000, right? So we just have to look at the numbers and maybe play around. First of all, find out if they're willing to cooperate, right? Because otherwise, I mean, it could be also very risky, right? Letting them stay buying the property without having an agreement. I mean, they could dismantle the whole thing. I mean, I've had properties that we looked at in the past that the owners were contractors, right? And they did a beautiful work on the property, but if they were to be evicted or foreclosed, guess what? They would take everything. I'm talking about HVAC, like AC condenser, the furnace, they would take the water heater, they would remove all the kitchen cabinets, they would remove all the appliances, and then some of the light fixtures. So if they were to do that, imagine, I mean, that would become, instead of a 15,000 rehab, it would go up to maybe 40, 50,000, and then the numbers would be all different, right? So super, super critical to have a cash for keys agreement with the owners. So that's what we're going to be doing today we attempted, was our first attempt. We're going to go back tomorrow with somebody that is more experienced doing that. I might also attempt to go there, but again, we just need to crunch out the numbers. But most importantly, we have to put ourselves in their shoes, right? With the eviction moratorium, it's going to be a challenge. Ideally, if we can pay up to $5,000 for cash for keys, would be phenomenal, okay? But technically, we could go as high as 10,000 cash for keys. I mean, it sounds like a lot, but we would need to have access, making sure that the condition of the property is almost identical to the pictures we've seen there. And if that's the case, it might be worth it, right? Because let's assume we do 10,000 cash for keys, and the rehab might hit 10,000 just for paint and light fixtures. All in, we're spending like 20, 25. It's still a great deal because you have a $100,000 spread plus the rehab is going to be way below 50,000. It's going to hit maybe 20, 25, including the cash for keys. So obviously we wouldn't want to go as high as 10,000, right? We'll try to negotiate, but that's something just to think about. It's just a numbers game. But what I wanted to tell you is that how amazing, right, is not only having access to these awesome properties that are being sold for pennies by the bank, but being able to buy them at the bank's reserve. Again, the bank's reserve is the bottom line, 182. That's the least the bank is going to sell the property for, because when this property is going to one of the auctions, I think is Hudson and Marshall, and the auction is going to happen in about 4 days. So let me show you. Let me find these. So let me go to Zillow, and from Zillow, I'm gonna jump to Hudson and Marshall. So here, it's gonna take me to the auction details. So this property is going to be auctioned off Hudson and Marshall in about 4 days and 14 hours. So the starting bid is 90,000, okay? So they don't give you much information, but check this out. Right here, oh, sorry, I'm not sharing my screen. Let me share my screen. I'm gonna show you the auction details. So this is being auctioned off at Hudson and Marshall. So this is the fourth largest auction platform online. The starting bid is 90,000, and this is going to go for auction in 4 days. Okay. This is cash only transaction. It says no interior access. We know that. That's pretty much it. Okay. What else do they say? Online auction. So not much information. Recently foreclosed online auction. Okay, so the cool thing is that, as I told you before, over 99% of the times, investors are not going to know what the bank's reserve is. And then the starting bid is 90,000. So what the auctioning side wants and what the bank wants is for investors to overbid and fight against each other, right? To raise up the bidding price. But guess what? We won't engage in a bidding war, even if investors in about 4 days are bidding against each other. And this is going to go way over 200,000. I can guarantee that. This auction is going to go for over 200,000. Okay, so it doesn't matter if they bid over 200,000. We can secure the property if tomorrow we can secure a cash for keys agreement with the owner or with the tenant. Then we can secure the purchase of the property, the transaction, for 182,000. Okay, so it doesn't matter if they end up bidding more. We'll secure that reserve price for 182,000, which would give us a spread of about $100,000. So this is an example of a home run deal that came in today as we speak, right? In ChicagoDealVault, and obviously time is of essence. You've got to take action, due diligence. Things need to happen like fairly fast because in 4 days this is going for auction. So we can even pull it from the back door the same day the auction occurs. So technically 4 days. So what's today? Today is Wednesday. So that'll be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So technically the latest would be, pushing it would be Monday, right? But ideally we want to secure these no later than Friday. Okay, if we can have a cash for keys agreement with the owner, we should be able to secure these transactions by Friday, no later than that. I've seen cases where even the day of the auction, we can still pull it from the back door, but we're gonna know tomorrow, right? So time is of essence, so it's extremely, extremely powerful. We pulled several properties already doing it this way, where we ended up paying like 150,000 or 160,000 for a property in Mount Prospect, and they were already bidding 198. And the auction had not ended. So people were already bidding a lot more when we had already secured the property on the back end for 160,000 and the property appraised for 280,000. Okay, so that's when you make money in real estate. Not when you flip, not when you buy and hold. You make money the minute you get a great deal on the contract. So guys, you have to focus on finding great deals, just like the one I'm showing you right now. Okay, that's where your time should be spent, identifying great properties, good neighborhoods at a great price where the rehab is light or medium, okay? Because the money is not on the rehab, okay? Super important. Okay, so let me answer some of the questions on the line. So here we have, I just did cash for keys, paid 5,000, was a shadow inventory property and took some time, but Finally got it done. Congratulations, Lisa. So Lisa Myers has access to the same inventory that we have. So she did 5,000 cash for keys, right? So that's really good. Lisa, we did 3,000 in the last transaction back in December. But this one, I think this one is worth up to 8,000, if not 10,000. So we're gonna run the numbers again, but this, if we have access and is in the condition that I show you in the pictures, 10,000 cash for keys should not be a problem. Okay, and again, we're not gonna give them the cash like tomorrow, right? If we get it in writing, they're gonna get the money when they move out. Okay, and we can put the money, if they so desire, in escrow at a title company. Okay, so that shouldn't be a problem. So they feel that we're not gonna cheat them, right? So we'll give them their money when they sign the agreement. Another question is moving expenses, 2 months storage plus 5,000 cash for keys. Yeah, absolutely, that would work. Brian, congratulations. Yeah, nice job, Lisa. Absolutely. So Lisa, are you keeping that property as a rental, or are you thinking about doing a flip? Brian, did you pay cash on the property to stop the auction? So that's the beauty, Brian. Great question. We don't need to pay cash for the property, but in this case, if we have a corporate tenant, we can get to use a Harmony lender, because we're going to need to have access to the property if we use a Harmony lender to do an appraisal on the property. If we use a private money lender, we don't need to do an appraisal, okay? It's not a requirement when you do private money lending, or you get funding from private money lenders. So yeah, we don't need to pay. If you were to buy the property from the auction, like if you were to be that Hudson and Marshall, you would need to pay cash for the property, okay? There's no financing. They won't allow you to use a Harmony lender, not at all. You're gonna need to bring cash for sure. So that's the beauty about having access through Chicago to the shadow inventory, because we're gonna be able to finance the property using a Harmony lender, so long we do have a cash for keys written agreement with the tenant. Lisa, it's going to be a flip, but for 90, rehab 40, 50, ARVs 220. Awesome. So guys, check this out. Just look at the numbers that Lisa posted on the chat, okay? She followed exactly what I'm talking about, okay? She bought it for 90, so this is how you analyze the property. Between the purchase price and the ARV, you should have $80,000 to $100,000 spread. So in this case, she bought it for 90, it appraised for 220, so she's got $130,000 spread, and her rehab came under 50,000. That's the formula for a home run deal, and she got it. Lisa got the property from the same inventory that I'm just showing you. So that's absolutely the formula for a home run deal. So that's awesome, Lisa, congratulations. And then right now it's the seller's market. So historically, 2021 flippers have made the most money selling properties. Okay, right now it's a seller's market due to the shortage of inventory. So doing flips is going to command top dollars. So where is this property? What neighborhood, Lisa? Lansing, awesome. So yeah, that's a great area. In fact, as we speak, we're rehabbing a 2-flat in Lansing. Okay, we bought it for 87, but the rehab is going to be about 70,000. Okay, so all in is going to be about 150, 155, but it will appraise for over 200,000. And it's going to be great for cash flow. It's a 2-flat. The second floor, it's a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, and the first floor is a 3-bedroom, 1 bath, 2-car garage. So again, that's the same formula that I'm just explaining for great deals. But yeah, Lansing, it's a great area for, actually Lansing supports both flips and rentals. So kudos to you, Lisa. Great job. So friends, I want to make sure that you all have access to this inventory so that you start grabbing these home run deals, because it's about time that ordinary investors like you and I start taking home run deals. Not only the pros, okay? Right now we're opening up not only the access to the shadow inventory that you can buy directly from large banks, but you get to finance the transaction using either a hard money lender or a private money lender, okay? And talking about financing, funding, we just created two inner circle groups, wholesaling and cash flow inner circle. The purpose for these two groups is to help you, give you a blueprint for success, A through Z blueprint. So the wholesaling team, it's comprised of about 60 people already. In fact, yesterday we got a property under contract. David Myers got a property under contract in Austin for $100,000. That property is worth $220 all day long. Rehab is going to hit about $50,000. So you're going to be hearing from us. We're going to be wholesaling that property. Tony, who is on the line, Tony and Amy, they got also a property on the contract. It's a Providence deal in Naperville. So they also got a home run deal. They got it from ChicagoDealVault Providence. So again, congratulations, Tony, Amy, for your home run deal in Naperville. They could wholesale that all day long, but they're gonna buy and hold the property. They are in the cash flow inner circle. Let me tell you, cash flow inner circle, we just were able to raise $1 million in funding for your deals. Okay, so if you belong to the cash flow inner circle, we have funding for your deal. So you have the deal, like the one that I show you. We have the funding for you, okay? It's 12% interest rate, 2 points. It's a 6-month loan that we give you, okay? So it's extremely powerful that we have been able to raise that funding exclusively for cash flow inner circle members, okay? So again, congratulations to Amy, Tony, and David Myers. He got a property from the wholesale inner circle under contract yesterday. So guys, I wanna make sure that you are successful, that we give you the tools, the resources. So if you still don't have access to the shadow inventory that I show you, I'm gonna send you the link. I'm gonna show you how to get access to this inventory. So let me go to ChicagoDealVault.com. I'm gonna send you the link that you can fill out right now and then get started, sign up. Sign up, okay, so let me give you the link. So I'll post it via the chat for those of you who are interested in getting access, and I don't see why you would not want to have access to these. So let me show you Standard Blue Angel. So here, let me send you the link for you to have access to this inventory right there. Okay, so click on the link, fill out your information, and select for the package, select Standard Blue Angel, and the promo code, I'm going to give you a promo code, it's SHADOW. Okay, for you to have access, I just put that in the chat, and then I'm going to give you the link for the cash flow inner circle. Okay, that's where we're going to make all our resources available to you. We have a 10-week module, A through Z blueprint. So I'm going to send this to you via the chat, okay? So if you're interested in joining the cash flow inner circle, I'm going to send you the form that you need to fill out. So it's a profiling form to better understand where your goals are, where you are, any roadblocks that you have, and then we're going to be able to team you up in the right team, okay? So I send you the link for you to have access to the shadow inventory and to join the cash flow inner circle. So let me share my screen to quickly show you what the cash flow inner circle is all about. Okay, so the cash flow inner circle, let me pull up the landing page. So right here, cash flow inner circle. So it's more of a hands-on approach where we have developed the portal with training materials. We give you actionable steps on a weekly basis. We give you assignments to follow, and we share our resources, and we guide you step by step. So we do helping hand. You have a support network. And what we do is we do weekly calls, training calls. You have access to our mentors, and we do Q&A, and we do deal reviews. Okay, every week we analyze deals. We have an exclusive Facebook group. These are our advisors. I'm sure you know most of them. Okay, so these are the key players in the industry, and this is the blueprint that we go over. Right now, we just started. We're still in essentials for success. Okay, so it's been only 2 weeks that we started. So this is the modules, 1 through 10: area selection, finding deals, deal analysis, contracts, funding, closing the deal, rehab, property management, and how to build the rental empire, 30 properties. So we're going to share our secrets, how we've done it in this cash flow inner circle. So I highly encourage you to join. We meet every Sunday at 1 p.m. Okay, it's about an hour and a half every Sunday, and it's extremely powerful. So let me show you what the portal looks like. So the cash flow inner circle, this is all the resources. So it's all organized, and we even you can track your progress. Okay, so here are all the modules, essentials for success. So every section, like setting up the right mindset, will have a video. We'll have assignments, and step by step, we want to make sure that you have everything that you need to be successful in real estate. So every single module with videos, it's right here. And one of my objectives is to have very concise, short videos. Every section under each module has a video that it's less than 10 minutes. Average is 4 minutes. I want to just give you what you need to focus on, okay? So super, super amazing. I want to make sure that you become part of either the Wholesale Inner Circle team or the Cash Flow Inner Circle team. So I'm going to send you the landing page for the Wholesale as well. If you are interested in being part of the Wholesale Inner Circle team, I'm going to send you the profiling form for the Wholesale Inner Circle team. Okay, so there's a question, Steve, what are the next steps for funding if you already have signed up for the Inner Circle? Okay, so Steve, we're going to be vetting the deal. Okay, so if you have a deal, I know that you're buying a property, right? I think I left a voicemail for you today to get more information about the property. So we're going to be vetting the deal, okay? We're the gatekeeper for the funding. So we want to make sure that you meet these criteria, that you're going to have at least 25 to 30% equity on the back end. And we are going to give you, if the rehab is less than 20,000, we're going to give you 100% of the purchase price plus 100% of the rehab, okay? So the purchase price up to 150,000, rehab 100% if it's up to 20,000, but if the rehab is over 20,000 up to 50,000, we're going to give you 100% of the rehab, but you're going to need to pay 10% down on the purchase price. So let me give you an example. If the property is you're going to buy the property for 100,000 and the rehab is 50,000, we're going to give you 50,000 for the rehab and 90% of the purchase price, or 90,000. So you're going to need to pay 10,000 out of pocket. We'll fund 90,000 purchase price, and we give you 100% of the rehab, 50,000. So we give you 140,000. Okay, but it needs to have the equity on the back end. So we're going to run our numbers, vet the deal, make sure that you have scope of work itemized, and we run through a CMA comps, and we want to know your exit strategy. If you're going to flip it, rent it, we need to know the numbers. So we'll make sure that it makes sense, right? And if it does make sense and it's a great deal, boom, we'll give you the funding for it. Okay, so you need to be part of the cash flow inner circle. So we can send us all the details, Steve, to support at ChicagoDealVault if you have them, and then we'll, if you're interested in the funding, we'll just start the vetting process on the deal. So again, I want you all to have access to this create inventory. So this is the link for you to have access, Steve or anybody, for the shadow inventory. So go through the form. Let me share this on my screen. Okay, so that's the form for all of you to have access to the shadow inventory. So it's going to ask you for your contact information. And then for the package, you select standard Blue Angel. So I'm going to put this again, package standard Blue Angel, and the promo code is shadow. Okay. So when you have access to the Blue Angel membership or the yearly membership, we're going to require 2 documents from you. We need your line of credit or proof of funds and your entity docs, your articles of incorporation, okay, or articles of organization. We're going to need those 2 documents because when you commit to buy a property from shadow inventory, there's no way back. Okay, once you say yes, I'm buying the property, we're pulling all these strings to get it off from the back door, so you do have to follow through. So we'll make sure that you get vetted. Okay, so can't wait for all of you to have access to that. So now let's quickly recap what we talked about, and then we're going to go into questions. So shadow inventory is when the bank already foreclosed on the property. Okay, so the property became the bank's asset, and the business of the bank is not real estate. They're in the business of lending. So they're going to dispose of the property ASAP. They're going to send it to the MLS through an area broker, or put it on the auctioning sites like Hobbs.com, auction.com, Hudson Marshalls. And the cool thing is that we do have access to all the inventory that goes to those auctioning sites. And best of all, you're going to know the reserve price, which is the bottom price that the bank is going to take. And you're going to be able to fund the transaction using hard money lenders or private money lenders. So you don't need to pay cash as if you were to bid on the auction side. And you don't have to engage in a bidding war against other investors. You will only pay the bank's reserve price, okay, regardless of what people are bidding. We'll be able to put it from the back door. Extremely powerful. But again, be cautious. If the property is occupied, you must have a cash per keys agreement for that to work. Else, it's way too risky. Okay, so we're going to keep you updated on this property that we found today. Hopefully, we'll strike a cash per keys tomorrow. So we'll let you know. We're going to send our best partner to do the job. So please stay tuned, and we're going to let you know. Now, are there any questions on the line? We have a great audience. I see some of you are really advanced investors. So would you like to share? I know Brian, you're buying a property too, right? I heard you're buying a property.
Yeah, but it got delayed, so it got moved. Yeah, the REO is too slow. So, but next week, instead of this week, Friday, we're supposed to close, they push it back for another week.
Oh, okay. So let us know, Brian, if you need any resources, anything, any hiccups, let us know, and we'll be able to help you, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Brian is part of the Cash Flow Inner Circle, so you get access to, obviously, me and all our resources. So it's a super powerful group that we put together. We started 2 weeks ago, so I look forward to making you all part of the Cash Flow Inner Circle. If you're interested in wholesaling, the Wholesale Inner Circle. And again, I want to make sure that you all have access to the shadow inventory, extremely powerful, just like the deal that we found today. I want to make sure that you are able to take these home run deals home, okay? It's not only the pros, okay? It's about access, having access to the right information at the right time, okay? That's what makes you win, okay? It's not the knowledge or your passion, your drive. It's not that. It's access to the right information at the right time, okay? And we're going to provide you with access and resources.